What's up, YX? How y'all doing? I'm the first and only ever student person to get canceled on their first day of the job. So, welcome to YX. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that means you're not in chat. Get in chat right now, make some noise, introduce yourself. See Me Crew is here. They are going to take over. Guys, we have such an amazing service planned for you guys today. We're in week 3 of our series, Lost and Found, where we've been talking about the parables found in the book of Luke. These are parables, otherwise known as stories, if that vernacular is not one you're familiar with. Stories that Jesus told while he was still here on earth. And today, we're diving into the prodigal son. So if that's a story you're familiar with, open up your ears, try to learn something new. And if you have never heard the story of the prodigal son before, you are in for a treat. So we're about to dive into worship, which for the See Me Crew, you guys have been craving live worship, and you guys are in for such a treat today. So kick off your shoes, wake up your family, sing at the top of your lungs. You guys know what we're about to do. And like I said, make some noise in the chat. See you guys in a bit.
Hey guys. I know you might be tired, but let's just have fun this morning. It's such a blessing to be together, so let's just worship and enjoy this time. We sing. My forever in your heart, your steps I will follow. I put my trust in who you are. Your voice is my arrow. And I will walk into the dark to see how the light breaks through. I will run into your arms. God, I will hold on to you. And I will lift my eyes to things unseen, to the promise in your victory. And I will build my life on the mystery of where you call me. And I will go into the unknown. I will follow, I will trust you. I can't be shaken. I can't be shaken with your words hidden in my heart. I can't contain what I have seen, light rising from the dark. Oh, I will lift my eyes to things unseen, to the promises, your victory. And I will build my life on the mystery of where you call me. And I will go to the unknown. I will go, Jesus, wherever you go. Oh, greater than I could ever dream, further than I could ever see. Who can compare to the greatest wonder? Oh, higher than I could ever reach, stronger than I could ever of where you call me, and I will go into the unknown. I will follow. When it feels like the dark lingers longer than the night, when the shadows feel like giants, are you chasing me down? Tell me, where could I run from your light? Where could I hide? And within your precious thoughts, there's no hiding from your love. Highs and lows, Lord, you're with me either way it goes. Should I rise or should I fall? And even so, Lord, your mercy is an even flow. You're too good to let me go. Should I dance on the heights or make my bed among the depths? Your mercy waits at every end, like you planned it from the start. Should the dawn come with wings or find me far side of the sea, there your hand still fastens me ever closer to your heart. Whoa, highs and lows, Lord, you're with me either way it goes. Should I rise or should I fall? And even so, Lord, your mercy is an even flow. Should I rise or should I fall? You are faithful through it all. You're too good to let me go. You're too good to let us go. Oh, you'll never let us go. No, you'll never let us go. Through the pain, through the hurt, sometimes sadness, you still see us, you still choose
'cause you're with me through it all. Highs and lows, in the rhythm of your grace, I know. Should I rise or should I fall? You are faithful through it all. You're too good to let me go. God, we just thank you so much that that word is true. You are too good to let us go. We thank you that you promise to walk through every season of life with us. Whether it be a high or a low, we know that we always have someone to depend on. God, we thank you that we are not alone, that we have you and we have one another. God, I pray over every single heart in this room. I cast out any fear, any anxiety, any depression, God. May each human being in this room know that you see them and you love them and you accept them. God, we love you so much and we pray all these things in your name. Amen. You guys can take a seat.
Well, what's up, YX? How are you guys doing this morning? Yeah. That time change really got you, didn't it? You woke up and you're like, wait, I'm still supposed to have another hour of sleep. It's not fair. I hate daylight saving time. Hopefully they'll change that. Well, my name is Michael. I'm one of the pastors here. So good to be with you. And for those of you who are watching, can we give it up for Simi Valley that's watching live with us this morning? We're so glad to have you guys with us today. As I said, I'm one of the pastors here, and I get to work with all of our campuses. But before I was doing this job, I spent 12 years in student ministry as a student pastor. So I have a really soft spot and a love for student ministry. And so I was just so thankful that Matt and the team asked me to come and hang out with you guys today. And speaking of the team, can we give it up for your student pastors and your volunteers? Can we say thank you? Man, you guys don't know, while we've been socially distanced, while we've been physically distanced, we've been home, they've been working and praying and just trying to figure out ways to stay connected with you guys. And they've done such a tremendous job. And so we just want to say, man, thank you for all you volunteers here as well. Well, we've been in a series for the last several weeks that you guys have been in called Lost and Found. And we're talking about the things that we have lost. And I don't know about you, but one of my most annoying habits about me is I lose things all the time. Like, I literally am horrible at keeping tracks of things. Like, you know those little towel things that you can get, you can put on your keychain and all like that stuff? Well, I have them on like my wallet, I have them on my keys, I have them on my toothbrush, I have them on everything. Because if not, I end up losing stuff all the time. Seriously, I'm really bad. Now, is there anyone like that in here by a show of hands? Like, you just lose things from time to time? She raised her friend's hands like, raise your hand, girl. You know you bad, right? Right? Well, that happens to us a lot of times. Now, how about this? Have you ever, by a show of hands, have you ever, like, thrown away something that you realized that you needed? Like, later on, you're like, why did I throw that away? Now I can't find it. I really need it. Okay, great. All right. Maybe you've done something like this woman in the video here. I don't understand what she was thinking. Like, the birds were flying by and she was like, hey, take a picture of us birds. And so, but she threw her phone away to the birds. Like, that makes no sense. I don't know what she was thinking about. Like, those moments happen to us quite often. And we have a brief lapse of judgment. I remember this one time when I was in student ministry, and we took a trip to a theme park in the state of Ohio called Kings Island. Now, you guys have Six Flags here, and Six Flags is awesome, but Kings Island is legit. They have some of the most legit roller coasters I've ever gotten a chance to ride on. And the greatest roller coaster ever, in my book, is this roller coaster called the Diamondback, okay? Now, you see this picture here. What makes this the greatest roller coaster is, most coasters that go really fast have like a harness that goes over your shoulder. It has some kind of seatbelt thingy. So you're like double locked in. This roller coaster doesn't have any of that. All they have is this little lap guard. There's no seatbelt underneath, okay? There's nothing coming over the shoulders. It's just this lap guard. Now, why am I pointing that out to you? Because not only does this roller coaster have 4 loops that go upside down, the drop, most drops either, you kind of drop straight down or you kind of drop at an angle. This roller coaster, you actually, when you go to the drop, you go in 1 degree. You actually go in and then you drop, okay? Now imagine, coming to the top of this roller coaster ride and then dropping and going in like you're about to flip and then dropping straight down. And this is the only thing that's locking you into your seat, okay? Like, you literally have to be insane to want to ride this ride. Well, on the way up, as you walk through like the whole little theme waiting thing, there's this huge box. It's about this tall, and it's about as wide as from this table to the end of this rug here, okay? It's really massive, and it's clear. And guess what it's filled with? Somebody give me a guess. Say what? Who? One more time. Cell phones. Filled to the brim with cell phones, broken, damaged cell phones. And there's this big old plaque on the side of it that says, "Riders beware, this is where cell phones come to die." Okay? Now, most of you would have probably seen that and been like, oh man, I should probably put my cell phone away. I should probably give it to somebody, make sure it's tucked in my pocket. I didn't think like that. I thought, oh, this is a challenge. Okay. So I was determined that I was going to get on this ride, and I was going to I was not going to put my hand on the harness, and I was going to record myself the whole time. And I was like, I bet my friend, I bet I can make it through this whole ride and not lose my cell phone. I promise you that. So we get on this ride, right? And because you got to hide your cell phone because the ride operator won't let you do it. So I was headed, and then as soon as the ride started taking off, I pulled my cell phone out, so I'm like recording me and my friends next to me. I was like, hey guys, right? We get to the top of the ride, and you get to the top and you can see like the whole world. Like I saw all the way to California at the top of the ride. And I was like, my life flashed before my eyes. It went like white, black, a bunch of different colors. Because as soon as that drop happened, I thought I was going to be like this guy, but I was really like this woman right here, okay? Like she's like holding on for dear life. I threw my cell phone. I was like, no! Like, it was so scary. It was super scary. And I was freaked out. Now, looking back, hindsight, sorry, my thing went dead. Looking back in hindsight, it was probably not the best idea. Probably not the best idea. And now we can laugh about it. I can laugh about that. But at the time, it was not very cool. I was super messed up because, a teenager without a cell phone, that's like the worst thing in the world, right? And so I look back on that now and I think, man, I felt a lot of shame and a lot of guilt about that moment. Have you ever felt ashamed because you lost something? You ever felt ashamed because you threw something away only to realize that you need it later and you're like, oh gosh, why did I do that? Maybe it was a piece of jewelry that you had and in the midst of changing or whatever, you end up losing it, and so you felt really bad about that. Or maybe you broke something that belonged to somebody else and you're like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna fix this, right? We often experience about 3 different emotions when we lose something or when we damage something or when something gets lost that we care about. One of the first emotions we can feel is hurt. Maybe because the thing that we really cared about, we wanted, and now it's gone and we can't find it. Another emotion we can feel is frustration because we've basically torn up the house looking for this thing and now we can't find it. Or we feel fear because the thing we lost actually belonged to somebody and we're afraid of what their reaction is going to be. Now, you see, this doesn't just happen with things. We don't just lose things. From time to time, we can even feel ourselves a sense of being lost. And that's why over the last several weeks, we've been in this series talking through things that are lost and how they can be found. And specifically, we've been talking about how we sometimes can feel a little bit of loss. And I don't know about you, but I think, there are several ways that you can feel lost. Sometimes you can feel lost because you may not feel noticed or seen, right? You may not feel noticed or seen, and so you feel like you don't fit in. Or maybe it's because you don't feel valuable. You don't feel like people care about you, and so you can feel a little lost. Or maybe you've messed up, right? You've messed up, and you aren't sure how to fix it. And so you're just kind of clueless. You're like, oh, man, I don't know what I'm going to do this. There's a story in the Bible that I think we can all relate to about a boy who made some decisions and ended up feeling lost himself. And I don't know about you, but I can relate to that story. When I was a junior going into my senior year of high school, I was a super unpopular kid. Okay, see, I put super because there's like super popular, kind of in the middle, unpopular, really not unpopular, and then like the other category that I was in was like super unpopular, right? I had one friend, middle school and high school. That's it. No matter how hard I tried, I just could not make friends. I just wasn't cool enough. And so I said to my mom, Mom, I just want to transfer high schools. I just want to get out of this school. I had the worst experience there. I just want to go somewhere where I can have the experience I see on TV, like I see in Hollywood, where everyone is super friendly and they sing songs as they're walking to class. And that's High School Musical. But anyways, I wanted to have that kind of experience. I just wanted to have fun. I wanted to have a lot of friends. I wanted to be invited to things, right? So I believed that, Mom, if I could just transfer schools, this would solve all my problems. And so I did. I got to transfer schools. And believe it or not, I actually became a popular kid. I got connected with some football players, which obviously was the thing to do. And I got to join the football team. I was starting to be invited to parties. I was hanging around. I was sitting at the cool lunch table. Okay, I know you guys haven't been in school in a while, but you remember the cool lunch table where all the cool kids sit? You look at them. You have to book an appointment to sit there. That's the kind of lunch table I got to sit at. It was awesome. It was so much fun. It was everything I'd ever dreamed of. But in the midst of that, what I was learning about myself was, I was really, before I transferred schools, I was really engaged with my faith. I was a huge on fire for Jesus Christian. I was at every youth group. I did every mission trip. I did every service project, everything. But when I started hanging out with these group of kids, I began to notice that I had to change some of the way I was thinking. I had to change some of the decisions I was making. I had to change how I treated other people. Because if I wanted to fit in, I had to do the things that they were doing. And see, that happens from time to time. I don't know if you can relate to a story like mine, but I'm guessing that there's some part of you, whether or not it was about being popular, whether or not it was anything else, there's some part of you that can relate to that. Maybe you did something, right? And you started to feel this gap between you and someone else. Maybe because time has changed, or you've grown up, or they've not matured, and you've matured, or you're not matured and they've matured, or something happened and now there's this gap between you and this friend. Maybe there's this massive space between you and God, either because you just really haven't been engaging your faith in a while, or maybe you're just trying to figure out, okay, what is this Jesus thing, and what's my part to play in all of this? Or maybe, just maybe, you made a mistake and you believe that it's ruined everything. And all you're just wishing is that we can return back to normal. You see, in this series that we've been in this book written by this doctor named Luke, he captures these stories that Jesus told about the things that were lost and then found. Now, these stories are commonly referred to as a parable. And a parable is not necessarily historical or even factual, but it's a story that helps us identify the truths. Another word you could use for is probably an analogy or a metaphorical story. For instance, anybody ever had their parents say, well, if so-and-so decides to go jump off a bridge, are you going to follow them? Anybody have their parents say that to them? Yeah, right? Well, obviously, it's not a real-life situation. If you have friends that are telling you need to go jump off a bridge, you might want to rethink your friendships, okay? But they tell you that to show you the logic behind the decision of what? Following other people's bad advice, right? Well, that's what basically a parable does. It highlights important truths about who God is and our relationship to God and how God wants to relate to us through these stories. And so Jesus told these stories often. And there was a particular set of group of people called the religious leaders. Another name for them in the Bible is called the Pharisees, that Jesus particularly aimed these stories at because he was trying to get them to see and to get you and us to see that sometimes our thinking didn't always align with what God was thinking about us and what God was, who God was. And so Jesus would tell these stories to help us understand, okay, this is who God really is. So in chapter 15 of this book in Luke writes about these different stories, okay? There's 3 different ones that he puts in this chapter. The first story is about a sheep. And how the sheep gets lost. And what Jesus is trying to communicate is that God isn't some angry God who just is up there just hating us when we do bad things. No, God actually wants to save us and bring us back to safety. The second story is about this woman who lost this coin and how she does everything she can to find this coin. And the whole purpose of that story was to remind us of how valuable we are. And so that God would never stop looking at us. So let's look at the third and final part of the story. So Jesus says, to illustrate this point, Jesus told this story. A man had 2 sons. The younger son told his father, I want my share of the estate now before you die. I want you guys to hold on to this part right here, okay? So his father agreed to divide his wealth between his sons. A few days later, this younger son packed all of his belongings and moved to a distant land. There, he wasted all of his money in wild living. About the time the money ran out, a great famine swept over the land, and he began to starve. He persuaded a local farmer to hire him, and the man sent him into his fields to feed his pigs. The young man became so hungry that even the pods he was feeding the pigs looked good to him, but no one gave him anything. Okay, so this whole story here. Now, there are a couple of things I think we can relate to in this man. Now, I'm not saying that you've done these things, but there are some just universal truths about what this boy does that I think we can all relate to. Here's the first one. Impulsive. Anyone ever been impulsive before? Raise your hand if you've ever made an impulsive decision, right? You went and bought something that you didn't really think about. You just saw it. Maybe you saw it on Instagram. You're like, oh, I got to have that, right? The TikTok dancer has the cool thing, so you went and bought it yourself, right? Or anybody have any siblings and any brothers and sisters? It'd be like this morning you woke up and you just walked over to your brother and you just punched him in the face just for no reason. Just whoop. Why did you do that? I don't know. I just felt like doing it. Sometimes you want to punch people in the face. That is what being impulsive. That's what happens with this boy. He just wakes up one day and he's like, you know what, Dad? I'm sick of you. I want to go live somewhere else, right? Which is the second thing, hurtful. You ever been hurtful before? You ever said any hurtful things? You ever done any hurtful things to other people? Well, here's what you have to understand. He basically says, remember when I told you to hold on to that one verse? He basically says, Dad, you're worth more to me dead than alive. Because if you were asking for the inheritance of your parents back in those days, you basically needed them to die in order to get it. That's how much. Can you imagine going home today and be like, hey, Mom, Dad, I need all your money, so I need you to die today. That would be a really weird conversation. I don't even know how you come back from that. But that's what he does. He's hurtful. Here's the third thing. You ever been selfish before? You ever been selfish? Have you ever heard the phrase rose-colored glasses? Anybody ever heard that phrase before? Okay, so if you haven't, basically, it's reference to people who are super optimistic, right? They always see the good in everything. They always think there's going to be a good outcome. The world could literally be burning down in front of them, and they're like, tomorrow's going to be a better day, right? Those are people who see the world through rose-colored glasses. Well, I have another one. How about self-colored glasses? And that's every single one of us. You see, we look at the world through the lens of how can it benefit me? How can I feel good? How can I get pleasure? How can that work for my benefit? And that's what he does. I mean, this boy's super selfish. He's only thinking about himself. So he says, Dad, I need you to die so I can get the money. Dad says, no, I'll just give you the money and you can go. So he gets the money and he goes and he has the time of his life. He's partying. He's having all his fun. He's doing everything that he wanted to do. But then what happens, right? Things change. Hardships come. The famine comes and he ran out of money. And all the people that he was partying with didn't want to party with him anymore. All the luxury that he had, it was all gone, right? It got so bad that he had to go beg to work for a pig farmer. And as he's working for the pig farmer, the food that he's eating, it was like really bad. He wanted to eat. Now, what's super interesting is the fact that in this day and time, working with pigs was like a no-no. They were seen as, now they're still pretty disgusting today, but back in those days, it was like really bad. Like if you were a Jewish person, you didn't find yourself anywhere near pigs. And what Jesus is trying to do is he's trying to get these religious leaders to see that this boy was like the worst of the worst. See, to you and I, we hear that story and we're like, oh, he had to eat like pig food? That's so sad. The Pharisees, the religious leaders, they're like, yeah, he's disgusting. That's how they viewed that. And Jesus wanted us to, and these religious teachers to see that this guy was at the bottom of the bottom. He's the worst of the worst. But look what happens. In verse 20, it says, so he returned home to his father, and while he was still a long ways off, his father saw him coming, and his father was ticked off. No. It says, filled with love and compassion, he ran to his son and embraced him and kissed him. His son said to him, Father, I have sinned against both heaven and you, and I no longer am worthy of being called your son. But his father said to his servant, quick, bring the finest robe of the house and put it on him, and get a ring for his finger and a sandal for his feet. And kill the calf, poor cow, we have been fattening. We must celebrate with a feast, for this son of mine was dead and has now returned to life. He was lost, but now he is found. So the party began. Now, I just can't imagine if you or I were to have that conversation with our parents and said, hey, Mom and Dad, I really need you to die so I can have all my fun and do everything I want, and then come back later and just think that they're going to celebrate that quickly. I don't see that happening. But that's exactly what the father does. He is ecstatic that his son comes home. He goes so far as to give his son all the best gifts, to throw this huge party. He isn't just happy that his son just moved back home. He forgave him completely, and he welcomed him back home. And if there's anything that you hear today, I want you to know that if you're lost, if you feel lost, you feel like there's no way God would ever accept me, can I just tell you that's a lie? That's a lie that the enemy wants you to believe. God wants to welcome you back home. I love how another writer of the Bible, Paul, puts it. He was writing to a bunch of Christians that were living in Rome, and this is what he wrote. He says, you may think that you can condemn such people who make mistakes, right? But you are just as bad. He's talking to Christians. You're just as bad. And you have no excuse when you say they are wicked and they should be punished. You are condemning yourself. For you who judge others do the very same things. So yeah, bad people make bad decisions. Guess what? Good people make bad decisions too. This is what Paul's saying. And then he says, and we know that God in his justice will punish anyone who does bad things. Since you judge others for doing these things, why do you think you can avoid God's judgment when you do the same things? But here's the great part about this. This is what I love, this next verse. Don't you see how wonderfully kind, tolerant, and patient God is with you? You see, yes, we can make bad decisions. Good people can do bad things, and bad people do bad things. But God is a God who is wonderfully kind, who's patient and tolerant. Not tolerant to say, oh yeah, continue to do the bad things, but tolerant in the sense to say, you've done bad things, and I found you in a mess, but I don't want to leave you in that mess. I want to pull you out because you're much better than the decisions that you have made. That's what God is trying to communicate to you and I. That even when we feel lost, even when we make a mistake, even when we destroy the things that we love and that we want to do, God loves us and he's patient with us. He doesn't want us to perish. He doesn't want us to stay in our bad mistakes. He doesn't want us to live lost forever. God isn't some angry old man that's just waiting to throw a lightning bolt at you and to send you to hell. That's not who God is. God is like the loving father in the story who just wants to welcome us home. So when you've made a decision or a mistake that has led you far from God, I hope you will remember what the son in this story discovered about his father. That when you feel lost, Jesus welcomes you back home. You see, my senior year was the greatest, but it was also a time where, man, I got really lost. And it led all the way into college. And I just remember one day just feeling like I didn't know who I was as a sophomore in college. I didn't know what I believed. I'd made a lot of decisions and a lot of choices that I really regretted. And I just remember thinking, man, I want to go back to God. But I didn't think he would take me back. And I remember a friend telling me this. This is what he said to me. He said, God accepts us just as we are. He is not after perfection. He is after progress. He's not after your perfection. You don't have to be perfect. That's not who God wants you to be. He just wants you to take one step every day. One step. That's all he wants of you. And he is ready and willing to welcome you back home. Thanks, guys.
You can go ahead and stand to your feet. We're going to sing one more song, and you might not know it, but I just invite you to just be in this moment and maybe let the song be sung over you. Maybe close your eyes and just think to yourself, what do these words mean to me? Beautifully made by nature I've fallen, by grace I've been raised. You're calling me, I'm coming home. You're calling me, I'm coming home. And we are no longer strangers to your arms. We are no longer strangers to your arms. And by your grace you have saved us. We're no longer strangers. We're no longer strangers to your arms. Oh, Father, I'm coming home. Though I have wandered for your love that is in this room right now, Jesus. Your presence that is with us. Yes, God, let that be our testimony, Father, that we are no longer strangers to your arms, to your love, to your peace. Just thank you for being with us today, God. We love you so much. And it's in your name that we pray. Amen.
Well, I hope you guys are super encouraged by that today, especially See Me Crew, who you guys have been craving that live worship and message for so long now. Hopefully a message like this, that no matter what mistakes you've made or how bad of a decision you've made or the choices you've made, you know that God does not close his doors. He's not a spiteful, angry God, but a God who accepts us at all times and is waiting for us to come back home. If you're based in Valencia, you know that service is not over. It's time for small groups. So if you're a YX native, go ahead and hop on your group now. Your leaders are going to be there in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and throw this in the chat. You guys will see that in just a couple seconds. Or you have already seen it because of the delay. I'm not exactly sure how it works. If you have not joined a group and you're based in Valencia, go ahead and click that link. For the See Me Crew, hold off from clicking that link. Hang out here in the chat for just a little bit. But if you're a Valencia native and you want to join a virtual group, now is the time. Go ahead and click on that link. Do that. And again, if you already go to YX and you're familiar with what we're doing here, you should be in your group already. Get my canceled face off the screen. It is time for groups. But See Me Crew, stay put as we make that transition. We're gonna hang out for just a little bit here. I'd love for, if you are part of the See Me Crew, I'm seeing Olivia, I'm seeing Kayla, I'm seeing Lily, Caitlin, I know Dina and a few others were in here earlier. Anna was in here. If you're part of the See Me Crew, oh wait, hang on, there's a group behind me now. Oh, it's so awkward. Like, they didn't even wave at you guys. It's kind of cold. I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of cold. Not even like an acknowledgement about this massive camera. Go on our Instagram. This camera is huge. This is the biggest camera I've ever seen. I feel like I'm filming a Star Wars movie. They didn't even wave. How rude. Okay, for the See Me team, See Me Crew, let me know real quick. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. What'd you guys think about service? I'd love to stick around and talk about that. What'd you guys think about this message? What'd you guys think about the worship? I know for me, as you guys get those typing fingers ready and start sharing about your experience, I love this. I'm so thankful, like genuinely thankful that our Sunday mornings are going to be here. In between YouTube channel, still gonna go strong. We're still gonna play games, tier list streams. Some student worship will hopefully find its way to that channel. But from here on out, yxyouth.com, this website is where we are every Sunday morning at 11:30. Still got in between Sunday nights, and we're gearing up to get these kind of messages and this kind of worship. I'm trying my best to get this specific worship band out to see me on a Sunday night. That'd be a crazy blessing. But we're ramping up. But in the meantime, what'd y'all think? I'm gonna read the chat again. It's a little behind. He said my name first. Olivia, that's so annoying. That was amazing. It was great today. 1,000 out of 10. So fresh. I miss in-person messages. Amazing. Miss traditional format church, but I'm so glad that we get to experience both. That's right. That is actually, Kayla, I'm so glad you said that, because we kind of, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm gonna lean into the mic. We kind of get the best of the both worlds. We have this amazing online experience every Sunday morning, but then we also have Sunday in person with just the See Me Crew. We kind of get the best of both worlds. They're right behind us again. They're right behind us again. I probably don't have to lean into the microphone, to be 100% honest. I feel like the dramatic effect is there. Loki loved the message, resonated with it. A little late, but quality content. I like the little quality content for sure. And talk about quality. LaCroix on tap here. I just walk upstairs and I get a LaCroix. You don't get that premium treatment at In Between. No. Bring your own LaCroix if you're coming on Sunday nights. But here, provided for me. How amazing is that? Someone in chat, I wasn't sure if it was like Dina or Lily, someone in chat said we should take a field trip out here. Yes, whenever we get the chance. We have to get here early because they fill up that room. That room that you guys were just watching on stream, they fill that thing up fast. So we'd have to show up a little early. But LaCroix so bad. No, you can't cancel me and LaCroix at the same time. Only one thing can get canceled per stream. That's the rule. I prefer ice. What do you mean ice? Like just like crunching on ice. Like I get Chick-fil-A ice, but you mean you just prefer ice? The chat is just blowing up with LaCroix right now. They're just talking about LaCroix at this point. Giving this big inspirational speech about let's all go out to Santa Clarita, let's all go out to Valencia, let's have an amazing service. Wait, smaller camera inception. Hang on. He's too tall. That's Matt Denton. If you guys don't know Matt, he runs the show over here in Valencia. He's gonna show up. He's gonna show up on Sunday for In Between 2. It's gonna be a treat as well. But I was gonna say something else. Oh yeah, I was going on this big inspirational speech about all of us coming out to Valencia, and you guys are just talking about ice. Oh, ice the drink. Oh, did you know I'm not alone in this room, by the way. I have a producer. It's pretty legitimate here. It's a pretty big production. Did you know about ice the drink? No, we're getting a no from the producer team. It's just you guys. Ice the drink is so good. The strawberry lemonade. It's Matt. Nice. Not tonight. Matt's not coming out tonight to In Between, I don't think. I mean, he kind of works in mysterious ways. He might show up, who knows. But not tonight, no. Once we're back in the building, once we actually are in the auditorium officially, we're still building it. But for now, the little parking lot hangouts have been fun. Who knows? Maybe since you guys are on stream, I'll spoil some stuff. And maybe we're doing some Chick-fil-A giveaways today. And maybe we're doing some live worship today. What? Spoilers? What? They're still talking about strawberry ice. They no interest in anything that I'm saying. They're just talking about beverages. That's awesome. Well, hey, See Me crew, we're gonna wrap up in just a few minutes. I want to leave the chat open for you guys to make your way out, and then we'll hang out in Discord if you guys want to. I am serious about let's try to get us out here for a field trip. It'd be a lot of fun. And then Matt just phases in and out of existence. That's probably the best way to describe Matt. Yeah. We're also dressing up country. Is that real? Kayla, are we really dressing up country today? Why? Why are we dressing up country? I don't want to do that. Why are we doing that? Is there a dress code theme? No. Check the Discord. Are you guys on the Discord right now? Hang on. This is very unprofessional of me to check. I'm looking at it. They're on the Discord right now. I just looked up. That's where my giant faces is over there. Hang on. Poll time. Upvote if you want to dress country. No. I don't want to dress country today. Yeah, for the Valencia crew who's watching right now, yeah, the See Me, we have our Discord set up. I know at some point Valencia is setting up theirs, and I know in the future, we're gonna have a massive Discord with a couple hundred students in it. But if you want a Discord, go pester Matt about it. If you want a Discord, go tell Matt that you're like, hey, whoa, See Me can't have anything that we don't have. That's so funny. If you're a See Me crew, let me know and I'll get you in the Discord. Emily, if you're See Me crew, let me know. It's Chick-fil-A. I must invade the Discord. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, based on the chat I'm reading right now, I think now is as good of a time as ever to start to make our way out. Like I said, if you're based in Valencia, get in your small group. Don't be waiting around, loitering in this saloon-style chat. What am I reading? Why do I do this? I woke up at 6 this morning to drive out here to read about saloons. Like, I didn't sign up for this, man. I didn't sign up.
An hour of sleep.
I did, just for this. I woke up at, what is it, like 5 in the morning for this. All right. Let's call it there. If y'all want to keep chatting, you know where to go. Valencia crew, get in your Discord, or not Discord, your Zoom calls. It's been awesome that I've been allowed to come here. I have a feeling I will not be invited back. So Valencia, this is the last you'll ever see me. No, I'm just kidding. But everyone's heading out. Explain to me what the See Me crew is. Oh, I guess that for those who wouldn't know. So there's another real life church. There's actually a few of them. We're a real life church based in Simi Valley, about 40 minutes away from here. So there's a handful of us. And today was the first day that we joined your guys' live stream. Before that, we were running stuff on our own YouTube channel, and we're like, well, hang on a second. These guys have all this amazing stuff and these live messages and live worship. Let's go watch what they're doing. So we're joining you guys every Sunday here in the chat. I won't be here. I'll be in the chat a lot, but I won't be physically at the Valencia campus very often. Who knows? Maybe they'll bring me back. maybe they enjoyed this. Based on, oh, Matt has his baby. Oh, all right. I'm getting distracted. RLCC me, we're the real life church. Oh, Chad handled it for me. I didn't even have to go on that tangent. Chad is so much. I feel like I don't even need to be here. I feel like we could just put chat on the screen right now and they could just self-sustain. All right. I feel like I'm being a nuisance to the group behind me. I'm gonna get my face off the screen. Hopefully you can still hear my voice. There's some information if you are here in person. Don't get lost. All right, guys. Have a good one. Talk to you guys later.